Not much. You're now coming into the stream, but we just started. So, yep. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
We don't have anybody watching, though, because we're so popular. If I streamed it on Brainy Beaver, we might have 20 or 30 people watching. Possibly. But,
Hey,
we could get as many as 70 or 80 in there, or my all-time record, 200 and something, when Fight the Flat Earth was talking about getting sued.
I remember that.
Oh, man, I was like, from now on, tell me anytime there's news, just come on my show and talk about it. I'm like, because it's 200 people were watching. I was like, holy shit. That, for me, that's big time, boy. That's like numbers like Unirock and you know, and, well, Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth used to only get 200 or 300 people per episode, like per live stream, like concurrent. But that's nothing to scoff at. You got to think of what 100 people sitting in a room listening to you talk is. That's crazy. I mean, really, when people think, oh, it's 100 people, it's like, okay, so now imagine you're at the front of a room and there's 100 people sitting in seats listening to you. It's like that. Now it's a completely different perspective. You're like, oh, that's actually kind of a big deal.
For real. It's like, you know, I remember my high school auditorium fit about that. You know?
Well, this is the thing. Like, and, you know, meanwhile, yeah. And again, it's nothing compared to, you know, if you're a big player, let's say, but. Scared Frank. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Ghost. He's gone. Oh my god. But there's that pretty planet in the background.
What happened? I love the planet.
I'm trying to work on. Well, I'm trying to find the time to work on a Keemstar background. Like that's Keemstar. Come on. You don't know YouTube. You don't know Keemstar. Come on.
I was.
You gotta stay up on your YouTube drama and your YouTube history and stuff like that if you're gonna stay relevant there, Frankie boy.
Oh, that's okay.
Because then when I say I'm gonna have a gnome beard, you know, that I can press and turn on, so I can just sit there and I can have a gnome beard. You don't know what I'm talking about. You're out on the joke.
I indeed do not know what a gnome beard is. And
well, Keemstar has a fucking gnome. Okay, I'm gonna tell. Okay, so tell you what. Go to your Google right now and type Keemstar, and then hit images.
Keem.
Yeah, Keem star, and then hit images, and tell me you don't know what I'm talking about when I say gnome beard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
like right. You're fucking right.
Oh, okay.
Don't upset the gnome army.
He looks familiar.
What?
He looks familiar. Yeah.
He should be. He's ubiquitous with YouTube.
Ubiquitous, nice
yeah,
word.
Big word, I know. It's a big word.
Totally.
Somebody painted him like a clown in the one image, though. That's funny.
1.2 billion views.
Yeah, that's big channels. It's all big channels. Dude, I've a quarter.
1.2 billion views.
I have
5.5 million subscribers.
I have 250,000 views. On Brainy Beaver, I have 250,000 views. Something like that. 200,000. I'm getting up there. But like, you know, you look at somebody like Fight the Flat Earth. He's already got like millions of views because of the difference between how many people tune into a video and a live stream.
Playing Rocket League, and he's got millions. Jesus Christ, it's insane.
He's a drama channel. Well, he was drama channel. He's been deleted off YouTube a few times. He's a bit of an asshole, to be honest with you. He's kind of a terrible person, really.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, you gotta do some fucked up shit to be YouTube from some of the shit that I've seen. I mean, Christ.
I mean, you know, this is speculation, but I think he's a horrible human being. Actually, I think I should just say it's opinion. But like, either way, it's an opinion. There's none of this. He's not factually the devil, but he could be. I'm just kidding. That's. Hey, he's a fucking asshole. Hey, he's tweeted directly at me. I've just got to go back and find the tweet. He said my name and pointed at his phone camera, on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, because you can tweet at people and they can read your tweet, and then they can respond to you with a video and go, Scott, no, Scott, no.
No, yeah, no, I know how Twitter works.
But I'm saying he's responded to me. I'm not going to talk about what I was talking about. I frankly don't want to get into that conversation. It was a time when I was tweeting about things I probably shouldn't have been. But there were some grape allegations somewhere in the YouTube community.
Say grape?
Yeah, well, read between the lines, idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I got
yeah.
moron.
Well, listen, YouTube doesn't like certain words, so it's a grape allegation. Grapes. It's all about the grapes, not the other one.
Do you like the red or the green better?
What are we talking about right now?
We're thinking grapes.
Oh, so we've turned into an actual conversation about grapes. Okay, well, listen, if we're going to do this, I think that the red ones are more flavorful, but the green ones are much more plump and succulent.
Ooh, nice. Another great word.
Succulent. Oh, yeah, we're into big words today, boys. This is the word bird hour. Thank you.
Seedless succulent. I'm not a big seed. Who the fuck likes
yeah, but
seeds?
wait, there's seeds in grapes? Who the fuck wants a grape with a seed in it?
Right? That's my point. And yeah, the red ones. A lot of the red ones have seeds.
We do seedless red ones.
That's what I like or prefer.
Do you realize that? Okay, so here's some little factual for you. Do you know that seedless fruits in general shouldn't even exist?
Of course I do.
Sorry, say that. Of course they what?
No, I said of course. I said of course I do. Like,
well, okay. So do you know how they?
Everything you eat is like pretty much fucked with in some sort of way.
Well, actually, we didn't do that at all. Maybe with the grapes. I know with the original. It's probably not us that did it. Let's put it this way. So with the oranges, with the original orange, like all seedless oranges, because they're typically navels, are they not?
There's a lot of oranges, different.
Well, the original seedless orange, then let's put it that way. The original seedless orange. Now we've probably fucked with them a bit now, but the original seedless orange was actually from one tree on a kingdom, and what it was is there was this tree that produced oranges that had no seeds on it, and it was like this just like this freak of nature that occurred where this tree had a mutation. And it produced oranges with no seeds. Perfect oranges you could cut into and not have to worry about picking the pits out. And I'd have to look it up. And maybe this is all bullshit. But this is what I was taught. God damn it. No, I think it is true. The original one. Now, and so this king would give one of the gifts that he would give like to other kingdoms and other kings and stuff was a cutting from their seedless orange tree. So they could also have a seedless orange tree. And it was like, because it was like almost like let's face it, that was probably like magical to them back then. Like, God gave us a tree that did not produce seeds. This is wonderful. But the only way to reproduce it is to create cuttings of it, because you can't plant a seed from it because it doesn't produce seeded fruit. So you have to take cuttings of it. So every single seedless tree of the original seedless oranges, they were all cloned from the original tree. They were all the original tree, which makes them horribly susceptible to monocrop problems. But,
It sounds like why Cavendish bananas. It's almost the same type of story. So,
well, that the Cavendish is the one we've replaced it with. It was the other one that got fucked up. Well, and the Cavendish is going to take...
Yeah, Big Tom, I think they called it, right?
I don't know. We're on the second. All I know is you can thank Chiquita for us putting bananas in our cereal.
And a lot of war.
No. It was Chiquita. No, it had nothing to do with the war. Chiquita. 100% Chiquita. People did not put bananas in their cereal at all until Chiquita, trying to increase the banana consumption of Americans, ran endless ads. And what they started doing is they got together with the cereal companies and they started putting coupons in the cereal for Chiquita bananas. So slowly but surely, they started making cereal ubiquitous with having slices of banana in your cereal. And it was 100% Chiquita that did it. Now, Chiquita has now become the underdog in the fight because Chiquita, it was like Global Fruit or United Fruit, which is now actually, what's the other company? No. The other company. Dole, thank you. It's the other company. So now, unfortunately, Chiquita used to be the biggest. So now here what happened too. So Chiquita, back with the previous banana, Chiquita had been, the way that they were fighting that new fungus that was taking out their bananas was they were buying more and more land and planting more and more crops and just trying to stay ahead of it in sheer massive production. But Dole or United Fruit Alliance or something like that before, they were doing
The Boyu brothers or something.
Well, they were concentrating on trying to switch to a new banana. And now the problem is the old bananas, the other ones used to be really hardy. You could just take the bushel of bananas and they'd fucking huck it right into the ship and just transport it across the ocean. Whereas the Cavendish are far more sensitive to all kinds of things, temperature, everything, and even just pests, and even being just bruised because they didn't have the same hardness of their outer shell. So they had to produce. So what happened is United Fruit spent all this time and energy and money producing all new shipping processes and shipping lines and stuff like that, and setting up their. Basically, they literally built a Cavendish-shaped fucking chute into America, essentially, because they designed a whole process of the bananas are delivered and then they're broken into smaller bushels. They're put in bags that are filled with fucking nitrogen to preserve them or whatever, and then those bags are put into boxes because that way they were protected in shipping from being smushed and squished and stuff. And they had built an entire supply line around these more fragile bananas. Well, eventually the fungus caught up to Chiquita, and they were not able to stay ahead of the death of their crops by planting just more and more crops. It was way too expensive to keep on just wiping out farms and moving over 10 feet and planting another crop. They had to buy land, they had to do all these things. And so in the end, what ended up happening is a complete reversal of situation where United Fruit, now Dole, became the much larger player. And Chiquita, unfortunately, had to regroup and come back, and that's why Chiquita now is there, but they're a much smaller company. But honestly, if you look up the history, you can directly thank Chiquita for bananas on your cereal.
I wouldn't thank Chiquita for anything, those fascist bastards.
Chiquita? What are you talking about? It's just a banana company. Well, if you're going to get into the politics of when they marched a bunch of people into the middle of a town and had them all shot, I think United Fruit Alliance was just as guilty of a lot of things. Because that was back when they didn't.
They're all pieces of shit.
Well, there was a situation where the government, or a bunch of people in plantations rose up and fought against the plantation owners, and the owners of. Well, the owners of these fucking these American companies went to the government and said, "Oh, this is a problem," and they got the government, the local government there. They said they were going to hit them with trade sanctions and stuff if they didn't deal with the problem. So the government there went in, and actually, apparently, there was U.S. Forces on site. Yeah, and they literally said that, they wanted to meet them in the town to make a deal with them, and they had 1,000 villagers walk into the middle of basically a fucking death chute. They put them in the middle of a kill box, and they fucking opened fire and killed them all, men, women, and children. Because they put them down basically and said, everybody back to fucking work. Is what happened because Americans need bananas. I mean, it's I'm not criticizing anything. This is the past, and that's just history. Anybody can look it up. So if you don't be angry with me I'm not saying negative things about America. I'm just saying these are facts. This happened. I was blown away. I was fucking murdering people for bananas? Jesus Christ. And it's not even people were dying from starvation. It's not we need bananas or we'll all die. It's like, whoa, my pocket's getting a little light while you're not eating bananas.
Well, they had workers working for basically nothing. I mean, it was almost slave labor.
I'll turn you up. I don't think you're very loud on my end. For the people, that's a bit better.
Bring
it down. Check.
Test out.
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
One of my favorite salmonella videos was all about how Chiquita and Dole became Chiquita and Dole. It was 3 different companies. And they just.
I'm dying of COVID. I'm not really, but could be.
They just kept on buying. They just kept on, buying land until there's these three companies, and then they were just fighting each other. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, Craven, you should get the tally man to tally some bananas right into that fucking cereal. It's really good. Chiquita was onto something. That's all I'm saying. They weren't wrong trying to get me to put bananas in certain cereals because it's fucking godly.
It's the only fruit that goes in my cereal.
You know what? You can put. You know what else goes in cereal really good? Honestly, blueberries. Blueberries can go in almost anything.
A blueberry? Oh yeah, but
blueberries are amazing. If you eat enough blueberries, you shit green. It's great. Well, actually, you shit blue eventually. That's the next step. But hey, wait. Do you remember Ninja Turtle cookies?
Yeah, of course.
You could eat fucking Ninja Turtle cookies and shit straight green. It was like, wow, that was so much dye in those. It was crazy.
Who's your favorite turtle?
Oh God, people ask me these things, and the thing about me is I don't give a fuck. They were turtles.
I always,
I'm not offended if you liked a specific turtle, but what I would say is it wouldn't be the size, because who the hell wants size? And it's probably not the guy with the stick, because fuck the stick. In fact, now that I think of it, it's Leonardo. Now that I think of it, listen, you asked me the question, God damn it, I'm answering it. I would say it was probably Leonardo, because every boy likes a guy like a fucking sword, and he was badass, and he was he kind of was the de facto leader a little bit, let's face it. And so,
bro, when I was growing up and you went to a skating rink or actually use quarters to play a video game, yes, it was a thing. You know what I mean? And then that Ninja Turtles game, dude, everybody wanted to be Leonardo or Donatello because of the reach. If you were Leonardo or Donatello, you were there forever. If you were Raphael, you were fucked. You broke in a fucking half hour.
I can't even remember what the other one was. Nunchucks? Ah, fucking nunchucks. Yeah. The only thing I think of as nunchucks is right in the head. Like fucking taking. I love. You ever see the movie Sidekicks with that was the Chuck Norris and the fucking that kid?
Yeah. It was
Oh, I can't remember his name. He killed himself when he was 27. Because he wasn't getting enough movie contracts, guys. My career is on hiatus, said Bender. I just think it's... I have complete respect for, it's a sad story, but I think it's one of these people that, they have this great career when they're young, and then they get this lull in their 20s, and all of a sudden it devastates them, and they hang themselves. Because I think he was one of these situations where they found him... Good.
Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, 27. It's a weird age, 27.
I think it was, but fuck, it's still, but the only thing about the 27 club thing is, statistically speaking, you're gonna have people killing themselves at 27. So every age probably has the same problem. It's just that we like to connect dots as human beings, right? It's kind of what we do.
Well, and plus that. MGK made a song about it.
Don't get me wrong, 27 is probably the reason it's probably 27. It's probably less to do with okay. So giving credence to what you were saying, I guess, is it's probably more so that because you're in the upper ends of your 20s, it's like you're on the doorstep of being like a true adult, basically. And if all of a sudden you had a really good youth and you're kind of feeling a little like you're stumbling, it's hard to imagine continuing going forward, I guess, while you're stumbling like this forever. And so it becomes this very important step along the path of your movement of your brain. But the thing that kills me about it, okay, he was a good young actor. Sequest DSV, he'd been in some stuff. He had a couple little cameo roles at that time in NCIS or whatever freaking popular cop show was on at that point when he finally, did himself in.
NYPD Blue?
It might have been something like that. I remember looking up a clip of him. I'm like, fuck, he was doing fine. Look at him. He's got how many, okay, so here's where I'm going with this. Let's sum it up. How many fucking actors or actresses do you see that are basically they hit this slump in their 20s or their 30s? They almost vanish. They can disappear from the scene even. And all of a sudden they come back 20 years later and they're fucking slaying it. Slaying it. Oh, all kinds of people. I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr. He was literally a strung-out crack addict, essentially. He had fucking heroin needles stuck in his arm. And all of a sudden, he's literally one of the best actors in Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, absolutely. Nah, he's pretty good. Okay, well, hold on. I'll preface that. Okay, fair enough. Okay. In certain specific types of roles, he is very suited. He did Tony Stark like a fucking champ. And him as Sherlock Holmes, yes, give me more of that. Absolutely. I can't even, now that he's been Tony Stark and been Sherlock Holmes, I can't even imagine a different one. That's all I mean by that. If you can do that to a role where you make it so it's I don't want you ever to hire another actor other than the one that you just portrayed, for that role. Because can you imagine if they came out with Sherlock Holmes? Yeah, exactly. And that's all I'm saying is, can you imagine now if they came out with Sherlock Holmes 3 and all of a sudden it wasn't Robert Downey Jr., you'd be like, what the fuck? What happened?
I mean, I would never go see the movies again.
Well, you know what I
No.
mean? It would kind of, that's what I mean. He's done such a good job that you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, you know, and even like you look at Christian Bale did a pretty good Batman. I have to give it to him.
I would say he was my favorite.
Yes, him or
I refuse to see the new Joker because I'm done. I'm done.
oh, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger owned that role to the point where it's like, don't get me wrong, the new one was a different kind of movie though. It wasn't the same. It's more of a it's more of a look into the psyche of the Joker and less an action hero movie, right? It's more of a gritty, like following him into his spiral to Jokerism, you know, kind of thing. So it fits a slightly different role. So for that reason, I think that it probably does work. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, you look at what's his name, Heath Ledger. Sorry.
Yeah, Heath Ledger. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, he killed it. He killed it on such a level that it's like, how could you? It's the fucking just the pencil, like, ta-da! Like it was everything. It was brutal.
Dude, it was so good.
Snapping the stick in half and throwing the two pieces of them. We're having tryouts. It was like, ooh, you could feel it too. It was like, what are you like? It was just so sadistic and perfect the way he portrayed the role.
Yeah, and like and the whole battery thing with the detonation, that was real. Like that wasn't written into the script.
Which part? Oh, really? So they added the the explosion was fake. So did he have to add, like, did he just like go like this and just decide to be like,
well, okay, when they panned back, the whole thing imploded on itself. Yeah, that was fake. But the initial explosion, like that.
Oh, that's right. They demoed a fucking school, or they demoed a hospital. Yeah. They had to demo. Wasn't that what it was? They had to demo a hospital anyways. So the movie people lined up with, like, they were like, that's probably all it was. They probably found, like, where's there a demo happening? And then they worked with the company doing the demo. Because
different studios bid on that job to film that implosion of the building, and you know, they won the bid, obviously.
So yeah, that's right, because it was the Dark Knight Hospital demolition was actually a real demolition. So you're saying that when it went, so you're saying it was popping and going, and it stopped, and he literally went, like, it started, like, and then all of a sudden it went again. He was like, oh shit, like he started, like, you're telling me that was actually like him just like continuing to be the Joker? Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
That's amazing then, because that puts a whole new
one take. You get one chance. So what they did is they gave him the clicky.
Yeah, but he wasn't the one actually clicking it, I don't think.
No, he didn't. That was the actual remote initiation to start the
really though? Did they tell him how much of the building was supposed to?
He didn't know that they gave him it with dead batteries.
Oh, okay.
They changed the battery, and then he took off.
You can't. I don't know. I'm starting to question this. This is starting to get too elaborate now. That's the problem I'm having.
Yeah, of course.
Well, wait. So he's in his actor's outfit, and he just happens to have extra batteries on him. This is where your story is losing me.
He was method acting the whole time, like he.
But still, he had batteries in his pocket. Who just brings batteries in their pocket unless they're expecting to have to use them?
Probably if they're going over it, and like here, there. If you're a tech and you give somebody remote control that has control over that much.
Yeah, but if I'm blowing up an entire school, I'm just gonna change the fucking batteries. It's like when I get on the phone with somebody and I'm like, it's funny too. They'll call and they're like, my furnace isn't working. It's like 3 a.m, -20 out. They're like, my furnace isn't working, and I'm like, okay, like you check the power to it and everything. Yeah, it's powered. Okay, well, what does your thermostat say? Well, nothing. It's blank. Okay, so did you check the batteries in your thermostat? It's like, well, yeah, I mean, the batteries are fine. I'm like, well, just humor me. Check your batteries. It's like, well, I change the batteries all the time. I'm like, listen, lady, all I'm saying is, why don't you just walk to a remote in your house, pop those batteries out of that thing, go over and pop them into your thermostat, and just Just humor me. If it doesn't work, then that's fantastic. I'll come out. But why don't you just try it? I changed the batteries the other day. It fucking lies to you. So you show up to the place.
Yeah.
They'll fucking lie to you for some fucked up reason even. Oh, no, I changed the batteries. It doesn't work. All right, so you go out there.
To get you out there.
Yeah, because you're too fucking lazy to check your fucking batteries. And meanwhile, I'm on the phone trying to say, just change the fucking batteries. Find a remote. I don't have any batteries. I said, ma'am, everybody has a remote in their house that has 2 AAA or AA batteries for a TV or something here or there that they can pop out and use. I'm sure you can find 2 AA batteries somewhere in your home. You know, just humor me. Try it out. Call me right back, and I can come out and help you. It's like, no, I did them. I checked them. We changed them the other day. All right, fine. Here's what it's going to cost for me to come out by the hour. So you come all the way out there. I go downstairs. You go up to the furnace. So first of all, you walk up to the thermostat. It's fucking blank. Which, don't get me wrong. If the thermostat is a commercial style and it draws its power from the furnace, there could be a burnt out motherboard. It could be problematic. However, most residences don't use a commercial thermostat. They have a residential thermostat. Even if it's a high-end residential thermostat, they'll have a residential thermostat. Well, guess what? Residential thermostats have fucking batteries because people are retarded. And they'll turn the furnace off and...
I gotta be honest, I've never had a thermostat that battery. With batteries for?
You have a digital thermostat?
Yeah.
I bet you it has batteries.
No.
Of course it does. They all have batteries. Every residential thermostat has batteries. The only ones that don't have batteries are commercial ones, and even the commercial ones I've started installing have batteries in them.
No, it draws the power from the furnace itself.
Yeah, okay, but the problem with that is when your power goes out your furnace too long, it forgets everything.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded. So all you do is with a residence, because residences are retarded, you put in and they'll turn off the switch. A kid will go in the fucking furnace room and go like, "Where's the lights?" And he'll flip the switch off up here for the furnace and leave it fucking off. And then he'll be like, "Here's the lights," and he doesn't think to go back to the goddamn switch that he just flipped off. Because you know what it is, you enter a room and you go like click and you're like, oh, you turn it, you just flip that bitch back to where it was and you walk away. Like you're like, oh.
Most switches are right in the basement steps. Boom. You know, it's always a red plate.
Yeah, but they need to be within the path to the exit, and there's rules. But yeah, I like to put them on the steps because the steps kind of thwarts the rule of having to have them like way up in the sky because even a short person can reach it then because you can stand on a higher step. What? Okay. Well, you need to have them. If you have a breaker panel between the exit and the furnace, well, American rules are probably similar to Canadian ones. They're going to be specific to your country, but typically, if there's a breaker panel between the furnace and the exit to the basement or the room or wherever, basically the question is, do you have to cross paths with the furnace to turn off the power to it? That's the question. So if your breaker panel is not like if you don't have to walk past your furnace to get to the breaker panel, that's acceptable in where we live. But most people's breaker panels are in the furnace room, which means that you have to go by the furnace to get to the breaker panel. Well, what they're trying to imagine is and we're not talking electric furnaces, that would be a bigger electrical issue, but even with a gas furnace, what they're trying to imagine is, imagine there's an electrical event or there's a fire or something, and you need to be able to turn off that furnace, but you need to be able to do it without going past the furnace because that's the problem, right? So that's the idea. So the idea is you enter the furnace room, you go, holy shit, and you flip the switch off. You know, you don't have to go, how do I get past this to get to the breaker panel? That's what it's about.
Let's be fair. Most things, it's because of holy shit.
Well, you know, that's yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? I've seen it all.
Because of the holy shit quote.
But they
holy shit, nothing was there, so they changed it.
So I'm very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if, honestly, when you go to the store and buy a thermostat, to get one that does what yours does, you have to buy a commercial stat. And even then, some of the commercial stats will still have backup batteries, so that when the power goes out or somebody turns the fucking power off for 24 hours or whatever, they don't lose all their programming. So I mean, they'll still a lot of times have backup batteries.
Mine, I had to sawzall a hole, like a square, out of my fucking wall to fit it. It was ridiculous.
I mean, it sounds like you probably have a commercial stat because you probably got it from work.
No, I got it online. It's a Wi-Fi thermostat.
Yeah, but even you've got a fucking Nest or something.
No. nest is round.
He buys all the Chinese shit. We were just talking about his webcam before we started, everybody.
Yeah, it's in Celsius. I've had to learn Celsius because of this thermostat.
Well, that's because you're one of the only fucking countries left on the goddamn planet that uses Fahrenheit.
That's right. It's not my fault.
I know, just saying. That's why everything you get from other countries comes in a different format than you. Even your gallon. You can't even stick to one system. You still had to have a different fucking gallon even. You don't even use an imperial gallon. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, you had to make your own gallon because why do we want to be the same? Like,
and it says liters to gallons for some stupid.
No. But what, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. An American, like, there's. Do you actually know this though? There's gallons, there's imperial gallons, and there's U.S. gallons. A U.S. gallon is not as big as an imperial gallon. So, like, I can't even, like, it isn't. It's smaller. It's like 2.8 liters, and an imperial gallon's like 4 point something. Or 3 point, it's a different, there's a big difference. It's like a liter. So, like, here, U.S. gallon to imperial gallon. It's 1 U.S. gallon is 0.83 imperial gallons. It's literally 17% smaller. So it really fucks with things because you can't even convert liters to gallons and then you have to convert it to like U.S. fucking gallons, and like it fucks. It makes that one of the hardest conversions because you can't just simplify it. But that's been my whole life here. Like, I'll get things that'll say, like, because if somebody buys a product out of the States, it'll say, oh, it has X many gallons. But then it'll be U.S. gallons. So then it doesn't, you have to like be like, okay, what size is that in real fucking gallons? Like,
It was a big what basically forced what the scientific community here in the States to finally just go metric 100% was what they crashed a probe into Mars because they put a conversion in, and instead of meters per second, they did feet per second. So the chute never opened up. It just crashed straight into Mars.
Well, yeah, that's actually exactly what it was. I think that's not quite what happened with that one. I think you're thinking of the wrong one. What happened with that one is they had the one you're thinking of, I think it just missed the planet, didn't it? Because what happened is there was a weight. Well, one of them, there was a, no, the one you're thinking of, I'm sure of what happened is it detected, was that the NASA one or was that sorry, you said NASA, right?
No, I said U.S. scientists.
Okay, because what had happened with the one to Mars, I thought, but this might be the Beagle too. But what had happened is it detected, is for a split second, it detected that.
For ESA, I'm sorry.
What did you say?
I said it was an ESA mission.
Yeah, see, this is what happened with this one. No, it didn't. It wasn't that. You're crossing two different events here and putting them. I'm sure of it. The ESA one, what happened is there was something to do with. It was something because theirs was just meters per second and stuff. What happened with theirs is that it had a.
If you put it,
no, I'm telling you. Just
Manly's channel, he did a top 10.
No, I know, and what he said, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm sure you're getting these mixed together. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that you've got two missions here that you've crossed. Is what I'm trying to say to you. I'm sure of it. You've mixed them into one. The ESA one had a glitch in the software, yes, but it was something to do with where it had a momentary power issue or something, and it thought for a split second that it had touched down, and so it just cut the fucking power to the engines. It made an error in calculation, and it literally, when it was supposed to do its retro burn, it was retro burning, and then it went, oh, we're down, and it shut the fucking engines off, and that was it. It just went, like you said, it just went like a fucking rocket into the ground. And it just implanted into the ground, like, boof, they calculated the speed. I think it was like 300 meters a second or something like that. It hit the ground at, they calculated. It was fucking fast.
Definitely terminal, right?
Oh, it was fucking like it was, because I think it was still like a kilometer up or something like that when it fucking cut its engines or something. Like it did barely slow down or something, or
it dropped like a stone.
I'd have to look it up. Yeah, and it just, then after that it was just fucking coming in. And of course there's no atmosphere in Mars, so it was just like ballistic at that point.
Like for realsies though, I'm 100% positive of what I said about, somebody didn't convert, or they typed in the conversion and sent it to the lander.
No, but I'm almost positive that you're getting it wrong, because I'm sure that, no, because I think the one you're talking about, I'm looking up here. Don't. I think the one you're talking about is when NASA hired people from ESA to build something for them, and they had assumed that NASA didn't convert it to imperial because NASA works in metric, and so they made the assumption that because there was no legend provided, so they built it they retranslated what they thought were metric, or sorry, not metric, sorry, imperial into metric. My bad, I got it reversed. They converted the American, what they thought was imperial measurements, into metric, and what had happened is NASA had already converted it into metric because they know ESA works in metric. So the weight of the part was wrong. And so what happened is when they were calculating the reentry or the trajectory, they think they got it wrong enough because of the weight and how weight works in space and calculating where you're going and all that stuff. They think they got it wrong enough that it just shot past the planet and they never heard from it again. Because it never did its thing.
And you're saying that was done before it ever left the planet, you're saying?
Yeah, because it was a weight calculation issue. They had the weight of the vessel wrong, so it wasn't where it should be, when it should be there, and how fast it should be going. Because everything, you got to remember, when it comes to space, you need to know everything about what your vessel's going to weigh when it's at a certain critical point in its journey. You just play some Kerbal Space Program, it all matters.
Gravity assist or something.
Well, that's what it was. They needed to make sure they were low enough in the atmosphere that they got caught into the Martian atmosphere, and they were expecting it to go around the planet. They were going to lose contact with it. That's normal. But they were expecting to regain contact with it on the other side of the planet, and they didn't. And I think it was either that, maybe it's not that it shot off, because if it shot off, they would have been able to detect it. I think it's that it bit in hard, probably the atmosphere, and went in fast.
Yeah, if it shot off, they would have been able to at least...
Well, here, I've got the Beagle, because I think it's the Beagle 2 that failed, because here's the thing that people don't realize, is that NASA is still the only organization to successfully put a probe on Mars. That's how difficult Mars is to land on. Europe still never landed there. Everything's fucking failed. It either landed and didn't unfurl, or it fucking smoked its way right into the fucking ground like a crater, or it they were working with Russia on that too, and together they still couldn't do it. So it's just because of how thin the atmosphere. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even on Kerbal Space Program, the Duna is a simulated. It's got a real thin, tenuous atmosphere, and when you come into Duna, shit, you gotta come in shallow, boy. You got to come in shallow, or you need a lot of retro rockets, because you have no atmosphere almost. It's just like The Martian. You know how he's like, oh, you only need that tarp for the beginning because after that the atmosphere's so thin. It's absolutely like that when you come into that planet on which again, Kerbal's an emulation. It's really fucking thin. It barely does anything for you.
Yeah, when I was, I never actually seen the movie. I only ever listened to the book on Audible.
Well, let's put it this way: the atmosphere at ground level on Mars is like a tenth of that on Earth. It's nothing. 38%
or something.
I don't know. It's crazy. It's all I know is that it becomes that's the problem with landing there is no atmosphere, because essentially you need to so pretend it had no atmosphere at all. What you've got to imagine is you've got a rocket ship that is moving at X many tens of thousands of miles per hour, moving towards an object that is moving towards it at X many thousands of miles an hour or whatever. And the two of them need to match speeds, relative velocity. Think about it. You're coming into an object that is actually sucking you towards it with gravity too. So you're accelerating towards it as well. That's the other problem. And meanwhile, you need to rocket in the other direction, because you got to think of it as two objects that are moving, but at different speeds. And so what you're doing is, without an atmosphere, you have to use all of that energy to match the speeds with that planet, so that you don't smoke your way into it. You land on it gently. But if you don't do it fast enough, I mean, it's literally just an object running into another object, because you're not going the same speed. So when you think of it as a physics thing more like that, it makes more sense. But an atmosphere is great, because you hit that fucking atmosphere, woo! You just take all your energy right out as you hit all that friction. Slows you right down. COVID.
Like a lot of people think that the Falcon 9 will just fall, just falls back. It actually burns its way back. It has to.
Yeah. By the way, I think you're. Oh yeah, 5. It's actually less than 5 though. You're simplifying it there more at 5. It's 4 point something, because 1 liter is 0.21 blah 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 gallons. So you're oversimplifying it, but you're pretty close. It's like I think it's like what 4 point. It's like 4 point like. Fucking, I've got a gallon over there I could grab, but I'm lazy as shit. So.
I mean, yeah, but so
Dr. Disrespect banned from Twitter or Twitch forever. You're just making me ashamed right now, just so you know.
Dr. Disrespect.
You're just making me sad inside a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. I
don't even have Twitch.
I get it. I think you're a little older than me. I get it. The boomers snuck into your life a little harder. I'm just kidding.
I'm 37. Kiss my ass.
He's only 4 years older than me, but anyways, so 3.5 to 4. But Dr. Disrespect. How do you not know who the fuck Dr. Disrespect is? God damn it.
Well, if it's Twitch, then I'm guessing that he streams gaming.
He's probably one of the most famous game streamers in the world.
I've never once watched somebody play a game.
Well, you're missing out because billions of us are.
No, I mean, I don't have any really. Excuse me.
I'm telling you right now, you're missing out because he's fucking hilarious.
The game is if I'm like, on a, like I think I was playing Metroid Prime at the time, and I wanted to figure out what the fuck I wasn't doing right. So that game is not easy.
Metroid Prime. Oh my god.
GameCube. Yeah, I know.
It's so pedestrian. Just kidding.
I know. I kiss my ass. It's still a great game. Metroid Prime. 20 years later, still going. Yeah, I was blown away when I found out he was a she. I'm like, the Metroid Prime dude is a chick? Really? Huh. No kidding.
The girl?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like her name gives it away. It's because her name's so strange.
What are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Are you talking about the character in the suit, Metroid?
Yeah.
That's a chick?
Yeah.
My whole life has been a lie. I'm kidding. I don't give a shit at all.
You too?
I don't fucking care. It's like the people that bitch about like Tarkov. There's already a group of people complaining that Tarkov doesn't have female characters. It's like, oh, who fucking cares? Tell you what, make a really awesome game where they're all running around with tits out. I don't give a shit. I'll be one of them happily. It does not matter. Oh, God. So they spent the time making models for men. It's a fucking game made in Russia. Do you think they care about your SJW-ness? No, they don't. They don't care about what you think about at all. If they were made in America, you might have a chance. And maybe I'm talking shit about Nikita is a really cool guy, the guy that runs Tarkov. He's on Twitter and stuff like that, but either way, it's just all I'm getting at is they got Queen FPS and stuff on Twitch and everything, and she's playing, and you don't see her going, I wish I could get a female character. She just goes in there and fucking owns us using a male skinned character. Whoopty shit. Do you think she's behind the gun going, I'm a guy, everybody sees a man when I shoot my gun? Like, I don't think she cares. And not only that, once you add female characters, half of the female characters running around are just men anyways. That because they becomes like this like little some of them really love it. They're like,
That means 95% of gamers are male. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm fucking everything's in the wrong window now.
It's so rare that I like on iRacing, it's so rare that you see a girl's name or hear a girl talking. It's very.
I have no
rare.
problem if they want to make female characters for their games, but I just don't know why it has to be like.
Well, you're creating a game towards your target audience, who will buy it. So.
Well, and even then, it just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like I don't give a crap what gear you put on my character. Make it a snake monster. It does not matter. Like, does it really offend people that they can't play as their, as like a pretty unicorn or something? Like, I mean, what's the next level? It's just, And I'm getting like cancel culture. This will go live now. Somebody's gonna clip this. I'll be on like Twitter tomorrow or something. But no, the trick is to not win Twitter every day. Okay.
Yeah, no, or ever.
Well, that's what I mean. Every day you have to wake up in the morning and look at your phone and go, did I win Twitter? No, good, we're okay. Like, because the day you win Twitter is a bad day, typically.
Normally, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Winning Twitter is not the goal of life, everybody. You want to avoid winning Twitter. It's the opposite. The how you gauge success is how often you can avoid not winning Twitter. And if it's your whole life, you've done good.
The dumbass who does Cleveland's voice won today. Did you hear about this? Mr. Family Guy, man.
Are they going to have a problem with the fact that the guy that plays the black voice is white?
The actor himself did.
Yeah, but okay, so it had nothing to do with Family Guy and everything to do with him doing something stupid?
The only thing he did was post on Twitter that he will no longer do Cleveland's voice because he's white.
It's unfortunate. Cleveland was a good member of the team. And who cares,
Apparently he was also Consuela.
Oh, yeah, no, he's absolutely Consuela. It's the funniest thing ever. Are you kidding? Oh, my God. Have you never seen? Watch this.
He's no longer Consuela.
Yeah, well, Consuela's dead then, because I don't think anybody can do Consuela. Because it's just, no, it's...
Like negatory. But it's just like, really? I mean, so, okay, when is James Earl Jones going to step up to the plate?
Here, watch. You can watch it right on the screen here, watch. Make it so, hold on, I'll make it so everybody can hear it. Just 1 second. Here too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm expecting a very important delivery at the house. So could you please call me if it arrives? I'll give you my cell number.
Okay, yes. Give me a number.
Okay, 401-555-1125.
Peter waits expectantly for her to continue.
40.
440.
I was just repeating before. 14.
14.
Let's start over here. 401.
4
0
0
1.
401.
Yes. 555.
555.
Okay, 1125.
1125.
There you go. You got it.
Now listen.
155.
What?
1125. 155.
Not 1 1 and 2 5s. 2 1s.
2 1 1 2 5. Okay, how many ones?
I'm not giving you quantities of the numbers. I'm giving you the number.
I'm not giving you quantities of the numbers. I'm telling you the numbers. Like 1125s. Like he's honestly one of the like no. Like he's just one of the best characters in Family Guy. Unfortunately.
Ooh,
Oh, Consuela. She's one of the best characters in the whole thing. Like there's clips where like she's always like every time they get a baby, yeah, like it's like doggy outside, doggy a fuego, doggy fuego, kicks the dog out the fucking door, kicks Brian out, doggy outside, doggy a fuego. Like it's just, oh my god. Here it's here I'll show you one more.
oh, that's nasty.
It's this part right here. It's this here. I did not want to do that. They were very nice to me up until that point.
My baby. What? I say, let go of me. Consuela, we're leaving.
My baby.
Hey, she says it's her baby, man. Now get out of here.
He's my baby, Ernesto.
No, I'm not Ernest. Okay, this is so
Yeah,
messed up
yeah.
right now.
I did not want to have to do
I did
that.
not want to have to do that. They were very nice to me up until then.
I did not want to have to do that. They were very nice to me up until then.
It's strange how Stewie and Brian became like the de facto chemistry pair all of a sudden.
They didn't realize it was going to happen like that either. They
It was organic. It was definitely organic. That's what I love about it.
the
It's like
two of them
some-
became team members eventually. Like it was always too perfect to have the dog and the baby together. And really, it made more sense than anything, anyways, that the dog and the baby would be friends and talk to each other because one's a dog and one's a fucking baby. So it just led right into the story a bit better, anyway. So it worked.
Yeah, like one of my favorite episodes is when Brian tried to fuck Lois. You know, like he fell in love with her or something. Like and Stewie's like, oh, mommy loves or baby loves mommy's candy cane covered kisses or something. And then Brian steps up at the dinner table like, stop that.
Peter on Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I get it.
All right, yeah. I don't think that doesn't strike him like that doesn't strike Peter Wheel of Fortune. That doesn't. I mean, do you know it?
I think I do. I'm trying to think of it. Bro, fucking Jesus.
Most of the time you can play,
It's
like-
bro, it's yeah, it's gonna be a good clip because I love Family Guy so much. I can't.
Oh, I think I know that.
I just don't want. Oh shit, wrong button. I didn't. Don't make me. Okay, I gotta mute that because that's probably like copyrighted music even on that.
All right, Peter, you made it to the bonus round. Congratulations.
Thanks, Regis.
Okay, the category is actor and show. So we need 5 consonants and a vowel.
Okay. Z. 4.
Z. 4.
Q. Another Q. A
Ampersand.
third Q. And the pound symbol.
Okay, no
And
help
then the
there. 15 seconds. If you want to take a shot at it, talk it out.
Is it Alex Karras in Webster?
Believe it.
Oh my god, I just took a shot in the dick. Holy crap.
Okay, you have $1,300. Why don't you go ahead and pick out some prizes
I pause it for a second. This is that's fine.
from a showcase.
Okay, let's see. Oh boy, everything looks nice. All right, I'll take the ceramic Dalmatian for $600, and boy, that TV looks nice. Give me the 1 free week of maid service, and I'll take the hat rack. Hey, how much for that fat guy in the circle? I don't see a price tag on that.
That's you.
Oh, embarrassing. The rest on a gift certificate.
oh, embarrassing. Oh my god.
I mean, I haven't watched Wheel of Fortune in a long time, but I don't remember the winner ever having to get to pick his prizes like that. Or did they just like combine?
I thought it was
prices
like
right?
I thought it was like different. You like here's your different prize sets or something. I don't watch. I'll be honest with you. Fucking game shows to me is like watching paint dry. Do not like them at all. And that I think that's ubiquitous with like our society these days because if you'll notice, there's not a lot of those kinds of game shows left. Everything's like. Can Deborah jump 15 stories from the building? You know, everything's like it's gotten to the point where we're bored with like flipping screens. We're bored with all that. It's like, can she put her hand in scorpions for 35 seconds? It's like, you know, eating shit and it's, you know, oh, absolutely. We've turned it into like, we're like, fuck, that's boring. It's like, holy shit, is that bitch gonna jump?
Now it's what like that ninja, right? Isn't that one that you know?
What'd you say?
Extreme, net like at the point where they do like this game show called Extreme Ninja Warrior or something.
I don't know. They've probably got. Oh, MXC Challenge though. That was the best show in the goddamn world.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. Oh my god, they took a game show from like South Korea and just over scripted with it. It's like, hi, I'm from whatever. My name is Debbie. Like they just threw words at them. I don't even know how that's like allowed.
I don't think. I mean, it's so old. It's been around for forever, man.
Have you seen what
That's
Kevin
old.
James has been up to? Here, I'll show you.
I think didn't you play? Was it you that played it first?
I definitely showed you the oh man, that's a really long. Oh, there it is.
ASMR.
My
Yeah.
grandma died. I was 7 years old.
I know he's been
sitting
doing a
by
lot
her
of them.
bedside. My life felt like
But he's been doing these like comedy bits.
Yeah, he was doing ASMR, right? And then he inserted.
Well,
himself into
it wasn't about the ASMR though. It was about like it was a pizza reheat here.
No, you don't have to play it. you played it last time.
Pizza reheat. It's just awesome because I had pizza upstairs and I was like, man, should I throw it in a pan and shit? Like some pizza to reheat.
Oh, I'm gonna be doing that after the show with pizza that is out there. She got
This is the one that I like.
I'm dying in your beds. Many years from now.
the plane.
So we got a
plane.
hold. We got a plane. Hold for plane, please. All right, we're good to go again. Let's do it.
One chance, just one chance to come back here and tell our
Nope. Nope.
Nope. We got a plane. Get another plane.
In real life, the sound guy would never be doing that. He wouldn't be yelling cut.
Yeah, but it's just funny because it's the one that it
It's strained.
like look at
It just.
look
I
at
mean, it's.
yeah, but look.
At least it's
Useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did.
Like,
He went ooh.
he's like he's actually there watching it. They did a good job.
Like, you know, those lightsabers were put in post.
Probably already been claimed by Star Wars or Disney.
Probably.
Like-
Well, definitely Disney.
Bunch of
Dude,
dicks.
I gotta watch the first 2 episodes of the new Twilight Zone before Tuesday. I'm just so pissed off about it. God damn it! Why couldn't they cancel it after they watched the first season?
He's pissed off. Then why are you watching it? Stop reviewing it.
We're halfway through season 5, you know, but it's what we gotta do. You know, it's kind of weird that we're reviewing a 60-year-old.
Oh, you do the
60-year-old
originals, I see.
Oh yeah. I've been doing it for 4 years now. You know,
I had to get
just
new
starting
headsets.
to-
See? They're sexy. Except because of the goddamn European Union, they don't go above 100 decibels. Thank you, European Union. Appreciate it.
They're controlling how high your set can go.
It's baked into the drivers on the...
You can't buy one without
You could
can't
plug
buy
it
it.
in. Listen,
like a Sony. Just wondering.
so, like everything on my computer, you can't just plug into the audio jack because my computer doesn't work like that. If you plug into the audio jack, then sure, you can overdrive these because it's not baked into the headset, it's baked into the drivers. But here's the kicker. If I plug into an audio jack, then I can't control all my audio because
No,
I use a virtual mixer. So the thing is, and I don't want to have a real mixer. Virtual mixer works fine because everything has to go through my computer because it's streaming anyways. So
Mhm.
So no, it's not baked into the speakers, it's baked into this. But let's face it, under normal circumstances, 100 is way more than you need anyways. It's just that when I was testing them, you know, you put them down, like these are the old ones, like arguably pretty much identical, except these are a new version that I'm wearing now, see? They're a newer version. These are 5 years old, and the wire fix I did was just not working anymore, so it was time. But they have the same thing, right? The drivers are cooked into this wire right here. The drivers are cooked into this wire, Frank, see? This is the USB end, and it has this. And this is where the drivers are cooked in. Now, the drivers are different for this headset, so I can't just plug it into this one and have it work. But this is how it does the 7.1 surround sound and all that kind of shit, right? So, but anyways, all I'm getting at is that, you know, you go to turn it up just to test them, and you're like, huh, they don't seem like they go as loud, you know, but again, they go louder than you'd want to listen to for really prolonged periods of time anyways, because 100 decibels is pretty high, right up against your ear.
but I like having the choice of whether I want to be deaf or not.
I kind of thought the same thing. And what's funny is that as a Canadian, I'm far more accepting of people regulating my shit because it's just how life is for us. But at the same time, when I was like, I wasn't hurting myself with these headphones unless I really wanted to for like one song. So like, you know, I felt like, why not just hold my hand and take me to fucking kindergarten while you're at it? You know, because they had to bake it into the regulations of your, and then so because they made the European regulations are that you have to limit sound devices to 100 decibels now. If they just make Kingston, which is a good brand, these are great headsets. I love my Kingston HyperXs, but they only wanted to make one model. They didn't want to make a North American model and then a international model. They wanted to have one plant where they make one headset. So in order to do that, we all get to follow European regulation rules now and have limited hearing or limited like audio levels on our headsets because, you know, you got to hold my hand and make sure I don't hurt myself. Now, I will say one thing, Frank. Regulations do result in some good results to society. They cost people less when they don't have to buy hearing aids and stuff because they haven't been damaging their hearing their whole life. So while we don't like to be controlled, there are very positive rub-offs for like the individual, not just the society, when we do these things. You know, you have kids that can hear properly in school because mom and dad didn't realize that they were listening to their iPad at 1,000 fucking level because they, you know, well, you know what I mean? Kids sitting there just blowing his fucking eardrums off. And the kids are like, no, it's good. He's got a headset on. We can't hear shit. But they don't know that their kid's literally ruining his hearing. So next thing you know, he can't hear properly and he's not getting his education as well. So like it has real world implications for the individual and the society, right? But like it, you know, at the same time, like I just felt like it did make me, because I'm like, well, fucking, what happens to the people that know what they're doing though? Like, you know, the rest of us have to like live in a world that's ran by people who, you know, that unfortunately the rules are set for the people that can't take care of themselves. Because these aren't a kid's hearing set. Like my kid's one, I get it. You don't want my kid to blow his goddamn ears out. Neither do I. And that would be great if my kid could continue to hear. But I'm an adult. Like, give me a break a little bit, you know? So, exactly. Yeah. But I will say one thing. Like, I watched a Juul. My wife and I were watching American Movie Channel. And a bunch of, like, Juul ads or, like vape ads were coming up. And
really?
Yeah. Like, they were, like, it was like a sea of color. And they were popping out all fun, like, dancing to the music. And where I'm going with this is that here's the difference between regulation. There's no fucking way that commercial would have been allowed in Canada. Absolutely not. Because when we watched it, we came up 3 times when we were watching Caddyshack. And every time it came up, I was like, hey, that's for your hearing safety. It is more Craven, and I agree, as you said. But so to finish what I'm saying here, it was like funky music and all these colors like rippling through all these, because they had the heads of the jewels, but like all of a sudden like they were water, like it was like droplets falling in water and they were rippling with all the, you know, think of 1,000 jewels all standing on end. You know what I mean? And they're acting like a pin cushion kind of thing, and as it's like a water droplet and all the jewels are, you know, doing like a wave, and then all of a sudden a bunch of them come popping out of it, popping out, and look at all the funky colors you can fucking get and shit. And it was to Poppy.
It would be so much better if you're vaping right now.
Well, but hold on, Poppy music. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's nicotine products. The difference is that ad, you can clearly see it, because we don't get exposed to ads like that because we have regulations that control advertising to teenagers, like for things like nicotine products. So there's very strict rules on what they are allowed to do, how exciting and colorful and catchy the ad's allowed to be, because they know what they're doing is they're attracting idiots or kids. Yeah, but you're an adult, Frank. What I'm trying to say is you're an adult. So you don't need... Okay, so Frank, hear me out. Do you need, if you're looking for a vape product and you're a smoker or you want a vape or whatever, do you need the ad to be all funky and fresh, or do you just need it to tell you the product, show you the options, and tell you the price?
That's all I want out of it.
And that's
but,
all you
know,
fucking care about as an adult. Exactly, because you're not a teenager. But what teenagers care about is all of the fucking colors I can get. Oh my God, they've got lime green. And yeah, okay, you're going to attract some people that are interested in that too, and that's fair. But the reality is, the music combined with the colors, it was clear as day. This commercial is targeting teenagers. 100%, there was no doubt in my mind by looking at it. First time I saw it, I was like, wow, that was an awfully exciting ad for a fucking nicotine product. And then we saw it again, and I was like, we must be on an American station. And I pressed the button, and I'm like, American Movie Channel. And I was like, that's what it was. It's because we don't get exposed to ads like that. So when I saw an American nicotine product ad, I was blasted at how exciting and fun they made it, because they're just not allowed to be. Like, what would happen is they would have brought that to the commission to be reviewed, and they would have thrown it back at them because it's advertising to teenagers and said, fucking make a different ad. That's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I heard something like, the whole vape thing, the ads and everything. They I think they have till the end of this year, right?
Oh, so they are ending advertising for it? Well, but so they're pushing hard then, because this ad was like fucking get your colored fucking vape on. It was crazy.
Especially the nicotine ones, like, because there is vaping where it's just vape for vape's sake. It doesn't have any nicotine in it, but it doesn't matter, nicotine or whatever. The whole vape, because the popcorn lung thing, whatever.
No, popcorn lung is a real thing, and it needs to be. People need to think about it, because it's 100%. They don't know. They think it's the glycerin in it or something like that, but they don't fully understand what the problem is. But they might be. You remember, it might be partly genetic too. So like, some of these things might be like, this certain select 1% or 0.1% of society has this. They, you know what I mean. Sometimes they'll find that it's like, oh, they lack a enzyme in their lungs that protects them like the other people. So here they are getting exposed to this chemical that they weren't exposed to before, and it's turning their lungs into fucking cheddar cheese.
It's also gotten a lot of people to stop smoking cigarettes too.
Oh, no, and this is the thing. I'm not saying, but it's also gotten a lot of people to turn into fucking choo-choo trains. You know damn well what I'm talking about. You know fucking damn well what I'm talking about.
It's like, does it need that much vape to come out of here?
You've seen it. They go in the elevator and they and they like puff, poof, choo-choo, choo-choo, and they get out and they laugh about it as they leave a fucking plume of smoke behind them. Like, it is what I mean. And man, I've seen them. They're like, man, just got my new rig, and they're like, fucking thing is this goddamn big around. It has an extra battery pack built onto the fucking thing because they don't have enough power to run it for the day. And they, holy shit, man! Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Switch on it.
What were you saying? Sorry.
It has a dead man switch on it and shit.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, it plugs into the wall. It's got a 120 volt, adapter. Like you're so, like Jesus Christ, calm down. You look at like this is a vape for cannabis products, but it's like this is the battery. The product goes in the top there or whatever. But yeah, it's like this will last. If you're just doing it casually, this will last you quite a long time.
It's called Venom.
I don't think anything's in it.
What?
Well, mine. I'm talking about, not yours.
This vape cartridge doohickey thing. I spent $50 on this fucker, and let me tell you, man, you get like if I use like the actual looking pen looking thing where this screws into the top of it.
Yeah, but those are the ones there. Those are the ones with the cartridges that have been causing the problems. Because sometimes the cartridges they don't know exactly what's in the cartridges.
Like this base screws onto the bottom of the same cartridge, and then this pops in like.
But you know that they had some problems. Okay, but you realize that they did have problems with the cartridge cannabis nicotine products in the States. That's where some of the people with popcorn lung were getting it from the cannabis-based ones. Well, but like this one right here. This is, you don't put glycerin in this at all. This is pure product only. It's got to be shatter or like distillate or something. You don't put any. So the nice thing about this is it's just pure. There's no other chemicals involved. There's no other like liquefiers and all those kinds of things that make it flow and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I forget the name of the one company that was doing the cannabis one. They were done this fake, like it was either somebody was producing fake ones of that brand, I think.
Well, and a lot of them are, you can order them on, people are ordering them online and stuff, and they're getting like, yo, it's half price, man. But it's like, yeah, it's made of fucking Chinese chemicals. Like.
You're also mailing drugs to yourself, man. You can't do that.
Well, you can't do it here either. But guess what? They show up if you order them.
Yeah, it's just, best thing you want is a paper trail showing your drug activities.
I mean, in Canada, it's legal. It's just not legal to order online. I mean, the thing is here, I don't need to do that anymore anyways. I can just drive to the city and go to the store. Walk in the door and say, yo, want to get high? That's literally all you got to do.
Yeah, I found the doctor. I found the doctor near me that pretty much you go to him and he writes you the script.
What's it cost a gram in America?
Through the store, you mean? I have no idea. Not sure.
Well, what's it cost from a dealer then per gram?
$20.
You're getting raped.
Yeah.
Getting ruined.
I haven't bought a gram in I don't know how long.
So get this. I can go to the store. I can go to the government store even, and buy a half ounce. So it's a 15. Half ounce is 14 point whatever, but it's a 15 grams. So it's just over a half ounce, and I can buy it for the Sunday special. Be $90.
Wow, that would be the
Canadian. So it'd be like it's like $65 American.
Yeah, that would be a big bag of 6 and stems.
It's a gigantic jar. It's like a big bottle like this, big screw top. It's like a nice big, thing of it. And you can get 2 of them. You're allowed to have up to an ounce on you. So you can literally go and buy 2 of them.
It's a different world, man.
Listen, talk freedom, it's nice to live in an actual free country, So I'm just fucking, Americans throwing fucking daggers at their monitors. Move to Cali, Frank. That's what Craven just said.
Move to Cali. It's all right.
But no, I'm just kidding. It's funny though. But yeah. Well, it's political in America. It was all about breaking up the hippies and the African American protest groups in Vietnam and stuff like that. And it was also about the chemical companies and the pulp and paper companies, is what it was. So, Frank, you look like you don't know what I'm talking about for some reason.
No, I was going to say I thought they made marijuana legal here in the States like back in the teens.
No, marijuana is okay. So hold on. So what it was is it wasn't illegal. They didn't have a rule. They didn't have rules. It was just a product. So. They had tinctures and, you get like a tonic and, your local doctor would sell you a tonic and it'd have cannabis in it. And it wasn't legal. It just wasn't illegal. But what happened is that, and this is factually provable nowadays. What happened is you had companies like DuPont, which made chemicals for cotton, doing cotton textile plants and cotton milling and stuff like that, right? Or whatever you do with cotton. You got to clean it and all that kind of shit, prepare it and stuff. And America, just so you know, is the cottonest country in the world. Cotton's, especially with, well, no, it is though. No, but it is.
Okay, weirdest thing I ever heard.
Okay, so here's the thing. No. So
I've heard people say a lot of things about America.
Well,
I've never been the most cottonest place on earth.
Okay, so America had a free workforce, slave labor workforce that was picking cotton, so they weren't paying them. And you had massive, what is the South known for? What is the entire South known for? Cotton plantations.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is America was the cottonest country in the world. Cotton was one of your exports. And so you have a chemical company that produces chemicals for cotton. You have cotton itself, all the people that are making the cotton. And then you have the pulp and paper industry, and DuPont makes chemicals for the pulp and paper industry. Well, guess what? Hemp, Frank, can replace all of those products. Hemp clothing is stronger than cotton clothing. It's less susceptible to ripping, and it lasts longer through more washes. And it grows faster, and you can harvest it with machinery, not people. So when you combine all of it together, it was a way better product. And guess what? Cotton grows really well in America, but hemp grows really well fucking everywhere. So what they were afraid of is they were afraid that if they let hemp catch on as a product that you could make your clothing out of worldwide, America was going to lose out on massive amounts of money from this free labor cotton industry that they've been growing. And then when you combine that with years later, so they'd already started to move in the direction of making it illegal for political reasons with lobbyists, stuff like that, trying to fight the government to make it so people couldn't grow hemp and cannabis. And what they did is to do it, they associated cannabis, the drug, with hemp, the product. And then so later, though, when you get later into the actual, like, the Vietnam War era, you had the hippies and the African-American groups that were fighting against the Vietnam War. And, okay, so get this, Frank. Nixon's right-hand man himself, who was in charge of the war on drugs, has even come out since and said that his literal quote is, "Did we know that what we were telling people about cannabis was a lie? Yes. But it gave us the ability to kick in the doors of their meetings and disrupt their meetings and arrest people." And that's what they did it for. So because the hippies and the African-American groups were very much against the war, and the war was very political for the government, and so they used cannabis. They kept associating cannabis with the hippies and the African-American groups and stuff. And so by doing that, they tried to villainize, they were using it to villainize those groups of people so that they could continue to disrupt their ability to protest. And he's admitted to this, like out and out admitted to it even. So he's admitted they knew cannabis. He said, "Did we know cannabis was harmless? Of course we did." It's his literal quote. So yeah, and meanwhile they still pretend it's this devil's candy and make it schedule non-narcotic. In fact, when we were trying to legalize it, the conservative government was like, "What about our commitments to America? We signed agreements that we would keep cannabis illegal forever." And we were like,
so?
like it was like, screw it. Well, because our conservative government is your Republican government, and they, think of it. We had letters to the editor going on, okay? I remember reading one letter to the editor. "I am so terrified of what's going to happen to my nation when legalization comes through." And like all of these things, like she was painting, like this woman was probably 80 years old. She thought the fucking roads were going to turn to cinder. The fucking buildings were going to start burning down. The fire department's not even going to know how to get to fires anymore. Like her vision of the future with cannabis legalization was like fucking a society on fire. And it's because they spent their entire... Yeah, and it's like it's because they spent years and years and years and years telling people how terrible cannabis was and how evil it is.
Yeah, and then your country got woke.
Well, what I said, my response to that is like, okay, listen, the kid making your fries at McDonald's is already high. All you're doing by legalizing is make it so he had to pay taxes. I was like, it's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to benefit all of us because now there's extra money in the coffers that we can use for social programs, maybe to help people with cannabis addiction or help people who have been affected by things. But the bottom line is right now, all the money goes to the drug dealers and they're not paying taxes on it. So it's like there's no downside to getting a society who's already high as fuck paying some taxes and buying it from the government. And we're allowed to have an ounce. Okay, so get this. I can go, and how are they going to stop me? I can literally go into one store and buy an ounce. I could walk into the next store and buy a fucking ounce, and I could walk into the next store and buy an ounce because my limit's an ounce. But unless you pull me over and check my trunk, you won't even know that I have 3 ounces. So it's like alcohol. They can cut off, they could limit how much alcohol you leave the store with, but they don't take your name and number down or anything. I'm not tracked on what I consume. It's not like I have a government issue ID I have to swipe or something to make sure I only buy so much a month. No, it's an ounce a day per store, essentially. The one time I even went in and bought an ounce because it was before COVID and I was stocking up, which he said, I'm like, "You guys been busy?" He's like, "Dude, since the moment we opened today, it's been a fucking madhouse." I'm like, "Stocking up?" He's like, "Yeah, everybody's stocking up. They're buying big things of it, and that's what it was. It was all the stoners stocking up before COVID in case the stores shut down." So it's like,
Are the stores shut down everywhere?
No, nothing shut down. I live in a world that's totally different than you, Frank. I've told you. I live in the spot where there's the articles are Winnipeg should be the envy of North America and stuff. It is so okay. Catching COVID where I live would be like getting struck by lightning on a blue sky day right now.
Something's possible.
It is. You would have to be okay. So we have.
However, it did rain the other day, and the sun was out. But
so you want to hear actual numbers where I live? Okay, so get this: my whole province has 23 active cases or something like that, and we only had one new one yesterday. One new case. One.
Doing good.
Singular. We only have 1.2 million people in this province, so we're
hey, you're doing good.
Well, we're low population, first of all. So, and we're very spread out naturally because we're a low population province. So a lot of small towns, but small town people, I'm going to tell you one thing. I live in a small town. You don't wear masks. Nobody here wears masks. We all go to the store. People are even shaking hands. Because they're small town people. And even though we're in a bedroom community of the city with a lot of smart small town people that like work in the city on big highfalutin jobs, it's still small town attitude. So you go to the store and you got to spray your hands with some stuff before you walk in. But after that, it's just like, how's it going, Frank? Boom! Like it's just, we're walking past each other in the aisles and stuff.
Elbow bump.
Foot, you do the foot dance or whatever. But frickin' lives there. Yeah, it's because nobody lives here. Craven's right, but it's also because of economics and all kinds of things. But you got to remember, Craven as a whole, our entire country is doing better than America. Because... it's kind of America's thing. Everybody thinks they
were number one.
Everybody just kind of down there. Like, okay, let's put it in the mass context. Like, it's like the people fighting their way into Walmarts. There's no videos in Canada of that happening. And yeah, there's 36 million people here. You'd think there'd be one, but I can look at just dozens and dozens, endless examples of people fighting their way into stores. They're posting online, this man wouldn't serve me without a mask on. Just put a fucking mask on for 5 fucking minutes and get your drink. Like, I don't give a shit. I had a customer, I had a little grumble in my chest. She said, I'd feel better if you had a mask. And I said, listen, what we'll do is, I'll bring a mask. If I need to go in your house, I'll wear it. I said, but I might be able to do everything we needed to do at your outside part of your air conditioner because I believe that's where the problem is. It was electrical. I think it was outside anyways. I said, I don't think I even need to go in your house. So I said, let's avoid going in your house. So I went around the house. I worked on the air conditioner. And when I was done, we cut her check, cut her a receipt. She washed her hands afterwards probably. And that was that. I didn't even have to go in her house. But had I needed to go in her house, what am I going to say? Oh, fuck you, lady. I don't need to wear a mask. No, I'm just going to put a mask on. She feels better that way. She wants me to wear a mask. I'll wear a mask. Somebody asked me to wear a mask for a few minutes. Yeah, it's an inconvenience. It sucks ass, but I guess I'm going to do it. Like, Yeah, and like, if you got to, if you're not supposed to wear gloves and if you're supposed to wear gloves in a certain store, if you're supposed to put on like booties, I don't care what they ask me to do. You might be like, Jesus fucking Christ, fucking shit, but you just fucking do it. Go inside and get your fucking pretzels or whatever you fucking came to the store for and just get out. Like, who gives a shit? Is it worth getting into a fist fight with somebody at the front of the store? That's how I feel about it. It's just, I watch these things and I'm like, holy shit, like, it's just not worth my time.
It's also not worth, you standing there, calling some asshole bartender who lost his job, shit on a cart.
See, Craven, we have ice cream trucks running. All of that's allowed to run here, which, like, because of how little is going on here, it's like, shit, I can literally go to a restaurant and eat a dinner now. Because we're in stage 3 of reopening now, whereas like America has so much of it pouring around right now. You guys are still like, you're still in situations where places are currently locking down harder, even almost. Well, not locking. You guys are in like a reopening situation, but you're all supposed to wear masks. We don't have a decree like that anywhere.
Yeah, the restaurants, they're doing takeout and outdoor seating. That's about the extent of it getting better.
All those Karens that keeps making videos about are from California, and masks are still compulsory in California. Yeah, and Florida just implemented it too. That's why he's working on going through an 8-hour video and I told him about it on Schrodinger's Cat. I'm like, oh, is that the one with all the bitches in Florida where they're like, you will be judged by God for making me wear a fucking mask? Like, it's so there's this blonde hair. I told him, there's this blonde haired bitch. I think she's wearing a blue outfit. I'm like, and she's like, We have ice cream trucks running here too, which I don't think they're supposed to be. Well, this is the difference. Here they're allowed to be because we just don't. My kids go play on playgrounds with other kids because there's so little COVID here right now. They're literally, I like let my little girl go up on playgrounds with other kids.
Mr. Soft going by.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is there's a clip in there where this woman's like, "Listen, I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Shit's gotta breathe." It's like,
God.
I told him that, and he's like, "What's the timestamp?" I'm like, "No. I just saw it clipped on somebody else's video." I said, "But it's in that fucking chunk of people, or whatever." And he's like, "I am gonna be looking for that right now." He's like,
Was this before he made that video? Really?
Well, different video. There's a million Karens. The other one was people in California. He's working on one from Florida now.
I think this one was it Karen or I want to say Shelly?
Well, but Shelly's her real name. Karen, she's a Karen.
Okay.
That's Shelly. That's Shelly from fucking Flat Earth, dude. I did a live stream on her too. That's fucking Shelly Lewis. That's fucking abandoned her. She abandoned JM, remember?
Yeah.
He's never gonna live that fucking down. Here, I think I can.
Have you done any more calls to Mark Sargent?
I'm going to, but I guarantee he's not gonna fucking. He is a son of a bitch. He puts that number up there with no intention on answering. I bet.
It struck me so odd when I saw it the first time. I'm like, who fucking gives out a number at the end of YouTube? It's weird.
I don't know. Other people said they've connected with him, but I've tried calling him like 3 or 4 times. He's never answered. So, and I've called within normal Flat Earth hours. It was only like, I'm kidding, because they run different hours because they're losers. They're freaks.
What does that exactly mean? Like
no, it was because I called him at like, it was only 7 o'clock his time or something. So I mean that's a reasonable time to call somebody. That's not into the wee hours of the night.
Where's he from anyway?
BC. Well, no, it's below BC. Sorry, American, but yeah, like.
BC. I thought he said DC. Okay.
No, the other side, Seattle area. I think he's in Washington. He's in that time zone. Let's put it that way.
Where Twilight was filmed.
Oh, here, look at here. Here, listen. Here, I'll put it up for you. Watch this.
Wonderful breathing system out the door.
Oh, also,
this extremely valid one?
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
I mean, so this.
Hold on, let me timestamp that for fight your team so he can look for it. I guess. In fact, it has the. You know what? This will work perfectly for him because it has the time on the bottom right, the actual time of the day in the video. So that'll he'll. Well, they're all they're talking to all the people, the people that make the rules. Those fucking horrible people that told her she has to wear a mask.
The government?
Well, yeah, it's a panel thing.
You're at a podium. That's why I'm at.
Well, yeah,
6 feet.
We don't have the same kind of level of crazy going on. So this is more common in America. But yeah, it's all these people that get to go in and do their 2 cents.
God, not even with the mask.
Well, per capita, I think still too, bud.
Or 6 feet, okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them.
See, like crazy shit. Like, it's just crazy.
What are you talking about, bitch? It's been since April. It's been 3 months. You fucking dummy.
Well, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's like what the flat earthers say. You're gonna remember though. Mark lives near his mom, so he's probably in bed by 4. Lives with his mom. He gets tucked into bed. Nice one, Craven.
Ray after dinner at 2.
What was I gonna say? It doesn't matter. We gotta wrap up soon. We're at an hour and a half, I guess. What was I gonna? There's one other thing I was gonna. I don't remember what I was talking about. It's gone. Oh yeah, I was gonna link that. That's what I gotta do. I gotta send that to team right now.
Yeah, timestamp that bitch. Oh, it's gotta breathe. Like, oh god. Yeah, that's why I like dry roast beef. Yuck. I mean, at least she's good looking, I suppose. she was ugly, I'd be even worse. It's still a disgusting fucking thing to say though. Like, you know, like, are you joking? Or are you being serious? Because it's a bad joke to begin with, but
Damn
if
it.
you're being serious, it's even worse.
199 seconds. There, okay. Team's got the right information. Yeah, so anyways, I guess we should probably start wrapping up. I'm starting to feel a little bit like the tired monster sneaking into my soul. I don't have a lot of energy. I'm starting to, you know, it happens quick sometimes. I'm starting to feel the effects.
Yeah, man, I worked outside all day around 90 degree heat. I'm tired. You know, normally I'm a bit more energetic, but I'm just like, I feel like I'm dragging ass.
Well, the Twilight stuff, I mean, Washington is nothing for Twilight. I mean, I live even farther north than that. You go, but yeah, it's, I mean, like, let's put it this way. The sun, I live like 6 hours north of or maybe 5 hours north of McToon. And like, the sun will go down, I shit you not, like it's light, it's like light out until 10 o'clock at night. And then like, it's like twilighty until like 10:30, 10:45. It dark by 11, let's say, kind of thing. And then by 3 goddamn a.m. 3 a.m. If I go to bed at 3 a.m. and I look out the window to the northwest, or northeast rather, I will see the sky will starting to be lighting up. And by 4 a.m., the sky is very much lit. And by 5 a.m., the birds are starting to fucking chirp. Like, because the day is right around the goddamn corner at that point. So yeah, it's the movie book Twilight. Oh, fuck that movie book. That's a good area, actually. It's nice trees.
That's what I was saying, Twilight, yeah.
Well, I was talking about the day Twilights. That's what you get. You get the experience.
No, I was talking about the movie. Yeah.
I don't listen to you, Frank. I'm just kidding. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to lose it, I think. So yeah, I'm starting to fall apart internally.
Coming from a podcaster that does a Twilight Zone review.
Well, and you're in a different fucking time zone, too. It's almost 2 for you, so we got to get you out of here as well. So, true, though, I didn't get dark till after 10. Yeah, and that was in Washington. I'm north of that, so it's really quite nice, but summers are super long here. Like, well, you know, the hottest time of the day is like between... Sorry, go ahead.
Yesterday. The summer solstice was yesterday.
Well, you know, the hottest part of the day is usually between, what, like 1 and 3?
Yeah.
Here here a lot of times it's, or yeah, either way. Okay. So, but here it's between like 2 and like 7 because of how long the day is. And like, because the sun is like at 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m., the sun is very much still in the sky. And it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter, like while it's up there. So yeah, it's a long, hot day in the summer here. And it's nice. You get a lot of summer. It's to the point where like, you'll be sitting on the deck in the daylight at 10 o'clock, you know, at like 9:30 at night, you know, and you're sitting there and it's very lit outside and you're like, or you're doing like gardening at 9:30, 9:45 just before the mosquitoes start to come out because it's still light enough to be out there gardening. So it's, you know, whereas most places you're like, holy shit, sundown. It's been for a while now.
I want them to get rid of daylight savings time, man. I gotta be honest.
Oh, you've been to the Forks? In Forks? I had to get gas in Forks. I don't know where that is.
Forks, Canada?
I don't know where Forks is. I know that the Forks is like, we have the Forks here, but there's also, I thought he was saying something else. Okay, let's shut her down, Frank. Let's start moving in that direction rapidly because I'm falling apart here. I can feel it now. Because I was having a little nap before we started, and now I'm starting to feel it pressing into my soul.
Well, all I'm going to say is Phoenix spent a lot of time.
Craven, it was 37 degrees Celsius here today. I live in I live in the center. Like, I keep telling you people this. I live in literally one of the hottest spots in North fucking America in the summer. Just because it's Canada doesn't mean it doesn't get hot. It's climate zones. Like, you know.
Yeah, but what's your humidity like?
What's my what?
What's your humidity like?
90%. We live in one of the hottest, most humid spots in the entire continent.
Well.
I'm telling you right now, the humidity is 80 to 90% on an average hot day.
It sounds like Jersey.
It sounds like hell, is what it is.
Feels like it too.
No, it gets fucking hot where I live. You got to remember, I live in the center of the continent, literally. So like, it's the same hot desert asshole kind of feeling that you get in the center of a lot of continents. There's no major water bodies near me to cool us down. And it's, sorry?
aren't you near Lake Superior?
No, Lake Superior is like fucking 12 hours that way. Or 8.
Okay.
I live above McToon. Okay, you know where McToon lives?
No. Minneapolis?
Yes, straight up. Literally straight fucking up. Straight up, like a pin. We live on the same river, for fuck's sakes. I live on the Mississippi, on the north side of the Mississippi, the Arctic water flow, the Red River. So in the center of North America, on one side, the part that goes to the Gulf is the Mississippi, and the other side where it goes north to the Arctic is the Red. I literally live on the Mississippi River. That's why it's fucking humid here.
Yeah. I live in between the Delaware and an ocean, so...
Oh yeah, I mean America gets hotter, Craven. I don't try to claim but we are in one of the okay. So where I live, Manitoba is right in the handbook of automobiles. Manitoba is considered an extreme weather condition area, and so like all automobiles require our coolant to be flushed fast, like sooner. Like I think most automobiles, it's like 70,000 kilometers or 90 or something. They need a coolant flush, and ours is 50. So because I guess the difference, you got to remember, I can go from plus 40 to negative 40. North isn't up. Well, okay. Let's not get too let's not get too far into that conversation, Craven. But you're right. On a map, though, it's up. So but yeah, fair enough.
He knows what you mean.
We all know what I mean, but he's giving me shit, and I like it, so it's all good. But
I'm sorry, but north is up.
On a map, it's up. Like, if it's on my wall and it's on a map, it's up. Like, I live near the San Diego River.
You know, that picture that they took of the first Blue Marble would look really odd if it was like the actual...
Way upside down, which it was, but that would just trip flat earthers right out. They'd be like, see, the fucker's upside down. Like, you'd be like, okay, slow your roll for a second, bro. Like I get their response where they're like
rotating. Now I know what I'm looking at.
They're like, oh, let's go over some glober facts. It's like America and China are on the other side of the planet from each other. Ho ha! And I'm like,
really?
I responded like number one, because it was like number one. It was like number one, yeah. So, like it was like Australia and whatever are facing opposite directions of each other, and I'm like, again, I don't see what the problem is here. Like it's just like they list these like facts of like, oh, how is that like. It's like, dude, you just need to, like, just try thinking 3 dimensions for just a second. Just try breaking out of your, like, coloring book mind and, like, just moving into an AutoCAD style thinking process just a little bit. Like, try to break that down just a hair.
Yeah, really. I
had the one guy after the A350 video, A380 video, he fucking removed it.
What?
I made my A380 video, Fleur Fairways, back in December, January, and the video, now he had copied it from another channel, but the video that I linked to, the guy I linked to, he fucking removed the video afterwards. And I was like, one of the people came back, they're like, that video's been removed now. Like, he removed it, he deleted it, and they're like, the guy, like, one guy comes back and he's like, that video's been removed by the uploader. He's like, I think that's a win. Like, kind of thing, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be a victory at that point.
Didn't you talk about it in the next video? I think.
Well, I might have talked about it, but he even shows like let's take a look at the wings on this plane. Look at these wings. How could they fit this much fuel? And I'm like, he's like, let's look at the wings on the A380. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. That's a fucking 727. Like, so I'm like, holy shit. In my video, I was like, for fuck's sakes, one of them has 2 engines and the other one has 4 fucking engines. Like, how the fuck did you even get that wrong? Like,
he called it a 727 with 4 engines.
Oh, he put the A380 has 4 engines. 727s have 2 engines. So he's like, now let's look at the cross section of this plane, and he has this image where a plane's taking off, and right when it lines up, he freezes it, and he's like, now, does that look like the kind of wings that can hold that much fucking fuel? And I'm like, that's really interesting, except that's not a fucking A380 you just pictured. Here, I'll show you because you don't remember. It's the part where I use I actually did a really good job at using the Super Troopers part.
I honestly, I can't picture an A380 right now in my head. Like,
it's that big double-decker plane. The whole thing's a double-decker.
747 then.
No, right? No, the whole thing's a double-decker.
Oh, okay.
The whole fucking airplane's a double decker. It's made by I think it's made by Airbus. But the Saudis were the only ones buying them, and they stopped buying them, so they're literally retiring them now. They're all going to a junkyard.
I didn't know that. Either I thought a 747 was. I mean, I. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that the front would only be the 2 levels because you got the bump.
Dude, there. That's a fucking A380. Look at the fucking thing.
I have never seen that before. Okay.
Well, it's been around. Look at it's a big fucking airplane.
Strange looking, isn't it?
It's a double decker airplane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Try to find an image of it. Right there. There, see? Double decker, the whole fucking airplane.
Oh shit, that thing is huge.
Yeah, but it has 4 engines. Like, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure it has 4 engines. Watch. Yeah, 4 engines, because how big it is. It's fucking massive. The whole, the wings, you could fucking walk inside these fucking wings. That's what I was trying to show in my video. He's like, you can't fit, look at how many elephants could dance on these wings. And I'm like, again, so who fucking cares? Like, and he shows like, it's everything. He shows like, he goes.
I wouldn't say they were dancing. More like
okay, but like,
sailing,
okay, but like, look at what he says here, for instance. He goes, okay, like, watch.
It's a cool looking plane.
Oh, you can't hear that. 1 second. Here, 1 second. 4.
20,000.
Okay, here we go. Right here.
Take 16 of these 20,000 litre trucks to fill the A380.
That is not a 20,000 liter fuel truck. That's either a 40,000 or a 50,000 liter fuel truck. And this is a 20,000 liter truck. Your research is starting to show holes, bro.
Where does all this fuel go? In the wings, you say? Okay, let's take a look at the wings. And you tell me where you think it all goes.
Yeah, this part. Okay, so.
This is the A380 wing.
Okay, so
Pretty huge.
here's the part where here's the part where the plane takes off. Now watch. This is awesome.
Let's take a look at the wings on these aircraft. This is the new Dreamliner taking off in a spectacular fashion. Observe the thickness of the wing.
So he typed Dreamliner, but that's like a 7. There's another. Night night, Craven. See you later, buddy. There's an. Hold on. Dreamliner is another one too. They're both named Dreamliner. 787 Dreamliners, which is a way smaller goddamn aircraft than the A380. What?
That plane right there. Those are the ones that are grounded right now, right?
No, the 737 Max, 727 Max.
Yeah. I know it's a Max, but it's
no,
not. Okay.
No, this is not the plane. 787 Dreamliner. Boeing doesn't make new airplanes, so this is probably just a rehash of another piece of shit, anyways. But there you go. But look at the plane. So hold on, just on. Look at the plane. See the plane? That's not a fucking A380. First of all, A380 has four, and that's clearly just not a goddamn A380. Look at it. So like watch what I do.
How many fuel trucks would fit in those wings? Okay, let's take a look at the fill rate.
Hold on, so watch.
This is the new Dreamliner taking off in a spectacular.
No, keep watching. Go watch.
Observe the thickness of the wings.
I don't know what happened there. Why it paused?
The thickness.
Oh yeah,
of the
he
wings.
paused it. That's right. Watch.
This is the A380 wing. Pretty huge. This is the new Dreamliner taking off in a spectacular fashion.
That's it. You're off the road. Never again.
Because it was. They watch.
Let's take a look at the wings on these aircraft. Fuel trucks would fit in those wings. Okay, let's take a look at the.
I put myself in a fake NASA fucking control room.
Like, why is
the same airplane? Like it's like I'm sitting at NASA headquarters because of course we're all shills, remember?
Yeah.
Here I'll show you real quick something.
I got my check. Did you get yours?
Oh yeah, shill check. Yeah. Here, let me just.
Thank you. I didn't know I was even on the payroll.
Here, I'll show you something.
I just see myself
Yeah, you do. Shut up.
Criticize you for having a plan and
You're always so worried.
No, just letting you know, just in case.
He's like, man, Brainy's so mean to that guy.
Who?
mean to you.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean,
Hey, if you got an outro song, get it ready while I'm doing this.
always got a song.
It
Yeah.
says that, but then it takes like 10 minutes to fire it up.
I was listening to you talk earlier. I didn't want to cut you off.
I'm teasing about that. Now, earlier was an emotional moment between you and me where we had to talk. Just kidding.
Yeah, it was it was personal time when my real self came out. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, 1 second. Here. I'll show you what I've been... Here, it's the editor everybody's hearing, by the way. Sorry, everybody. Here, I'll show you. Let me pop it in this screen.
I was gonna say, why don't you just go out with playing your whole video, man?
Because this video is not released, and I don't want to sit here through my own video. So let me just show you something here.
So it's the new one. It's the new.
This is a bit of collabs, but nobody watches this channel, so it's not going to ruin anything to put it on here. Cause, but yeah, give me 1 second. Oh no, we got this, bro. We got this. You're just not seeing it because I haven't involved you in what I'm doing on my. I've got studio mode on, so you're not cool enough to see what I'm doing on my actual screen here.
You could have stopped right there.
When I think you're cool enough, I'm gonna hit a button, and then it's gonna bring the video forward here.
I can't wait till I'm cool enough.
See, now you're cool enough.
Fuck yeah. Finally, I made
Okay,
it.
so here, just watch this part right here. It's okay. So Fight the Flat Earth. Did you watch his recent video on Simon Dan's channel?
Oh yeah.
He got teleported to NASA. So the thing is, at the beginning of this episode, this is a collab I'm working out with him and a team. And at the beginning of this episode, I complained to NASA about the fact that Fight has a teleportation device, or I complained to CSA, Canadian Space Agency, that he has a teleportation device and that I want one too. And I don't care if they've got budgetary restrictions. Surely they can make it happen. So I get one that is installed by the Canadian Space Agency, not NASA. Okay, so mine is, suffice to say, it's not working properly. Things aren't going so hot here. Okay.
Well.
All right, moving forward.
I gotta figure.
Hey, listen, it's my people. I'm allowed to talk shit about it, not you. Okay, you got to remember that. It's like the N-word here.
I gotta figure out what's going on with this thing. Oh no. Oh, that stings so much. Whoa, what the fuck?
Whoops, I pressed the button. That happens.
That's so cool, man. That's awesome.
Just wait.
All right, those are the sliders that I bought. These are the lights. Okay. Flora. Oh, and then we bought some gas. I bought gas for the production and all that stuff. So, okay. We are supposedly a community of truth.
Well, you remember this episode, right?
Therefore, if someone steals from us and commits grand theft, it's still ought to
So
be.
this is my December episode for JM.
My loyalties is not to the community. My loyalty is to truth, folks, not to a community. Okay? My loyalty is to my Heavenly Father, my family, and truth. Okay? And this was not only wrong, it was way wrong. And now I've just showed that the police officer's report findings were wrong. But folks, just so you know too, I am following up with the police station. I'm also going to be reporting the officer for not doing a proper investigation. I'm not going to go into all that. Okay? But just because the officer said it's a civil matter does not make it so. How many times have we seen courts reverse that stuff? So for some people to not put any weight into my testimony when I'm the one who actually had the property stolen is kind of ridiculous to me. Special update also, Robert Taylor and I have been in communication with the Wendell Police Department, and they are reviewing this case because apparently there were some things that were overlooked. Like I said, people, I am well aware of what the law states.
What just happened? Is that my video from December? So, bear with me.
So and it runs real slow like that. If the stuttering won't be there in the final edit. The reason it stutters like that is because I don't know how much you know about video editing, but essentially when you think of it, when it's not a flattened file, well, you think of it like this. Okay, so when it's done and you're watching it as a video, it's turned into one file. It's an MP4 or it's a whatever video file or a Windows Movie Player file or whatever format you choose, right? It's a file that's made. It's a set of instructions that your computer uses to run pixels and show you what, audio and everything and show you what you want to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that scene right now in my editor is a whole bunch of different video files that are all overlapping each other. So think of the difference of what your computer has to do when it's showing you, when I was showing you what's going on there. That's not a made movie. That's a whole bunch of things that have been overlapped onto each other. And the computer's having to grab 10 different files and audio tracks and all these different things, and it's having to layer them together real time and make it look like a fluid running video. And now if I had like a RTX 30 something from NVIDIA, like a brand new $1,000 graphics card, I'd probably run it just fine, just like a real-time video. But I have a 1050 Ti, it's 3 generations old. And so that's what I get when I try to. And at that, guess what? I even have an option selected that when it's on replay, like that, where we're watching it on so when I'm watching my own segments, it actually dumbs the quality down. When I hit pause, the quality comes back to perfect. But when I hit play to watch it myself, I drops quality by a quarter, at least, so that it's built. I've set the setting that way so that it runs easier while I'm trying to edit. So like when you're just trying to watch your section, you don't need it to be in 1080p. You just need it to show you what it's going to show you. You know the footage is in 1080p. And when you hit pause, you get the clearness. And when you hit play, it blurs a little. That's all. So yeah. And that way it doesn't have to concentrate on like doing anti-aliasing and all that kind of stuff, right?
What is the max file size that you could probably upload to YouTube?
I don't know. I mean, the files I upload are multiple gigabytes each. So
I was wondering.
I do 4K, so I mean my files are 5 gigabytes in size, let's say, when they're done or something. So I mean that's for one video. I mean I alone have uploaded hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes to YouTube. They convert it to their own file format, but like their own compression format. But if I upload a 5K or a 4K, they will compress it into their version of a 4K. So it still stays 4K. It's just that they will do their own compression to it, right? So YouTube is actually really, Netflix is amazing at compression, but anyways, that's a conversation for another day. So I'm going to start wrapping myself up very quickly. I'm going to say, Frank, it's been a pleasure tonight. Thank you for talking to me. I feel bagged internally. When I'm done here, I'm going to go make myself a bacon turkey sandwich. It's going to be fucking delicious. Oh yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to microwave the bacon for like 2.5 minutes. And it's gonna just be that right on the edge of crispness, and then I'm gonna lay out probably a bagel, because I'm realizing right now as I'm saying it that I'm out of fucking bread, and I'm gonna lay some turkey down. It's gonna be a bagel witch, a turkey bacon bagel witch from home with a slice of cheese on it. It'll be delicious. It's gonna be nice.
Plain bagel or
the only thing is, no, it's gonna be like a whole wheat everything bagel. Like it's got like a 8 grain. That's what it is, an 8 grain bagel.
It's a good thing that you're putting bacon on something healthy.
Well, yeah, that's called balancing. Frank, he's like, no, white bread, fucking processed fucking cheese, the fakest fucking lunch meat I can find. He wants everything to be bad, so there's nothing in there to balance that fucking sandwich even a little bit.
And lettuce, you better stay out my fucking sandwich.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with 2 slices of bacon if you're eating a balanced meal. And that 8 grains, that helps you shit and it keeps it balanced, bro.
Yo, remember when KFC came out with the chicken witch, where the bun was
I ate one. I ate one because I had to say I was there. Okay, it's a matter of fucking pride. Okay, listen, as a man, you got to be able to say, listen, when they did that shit, I was there.
Of course, I had to do it once, but God, it was horrible.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't horrible. That's what I mean. Like, it wasn't horrible, but you felt like you were less of a human after eating it.
Oh yeah, I mean it put you down.
Like, it was demoralizing while you're eating. You were like, why? Why has my life become this? I mean, you're right. I'm glad we all had the same experience. You're like, I'm not going to look a friend. I'm not going to look like a really high-class person in the eye and tell him I had one. That's all I'm saying.
I would deny it, to anybody, but whatever. It's like, yeah, I would,
It's like you grabbed it, you looked around and fucking left the restaurant. Like, it's just...
I was by myself. It was a definite...
We were in the north. We were in the north. We were working up in Thompson, and they only have a few restaurants, and one of them's a KFC. And I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Fucking, I was like, I heard about these things. Let's eat one. So, you're hungry when you're working up in the north,
Yeah, and plus and you get something nice and warm in you. Do a KFC.
Get something nice and warm in you. I keep telling my wife the same thing, but it's not working.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
He's saying, come on, baby, you want something warm in you? She didn't bite on it. I don't know what the problem was, It just didn't seem to turn her crank.
Your joke.
Bada boom. Anyways, on that note, Frank, it has been a delight. I am Brainy Beaver. I'm not cutting out that quick, but what I will say is that, I have a channel you can go check out if you somehow stumbled across this train wreck, somebody. It's listed down there. And I'd love for you to come by and catch me on Twitter, where I'm sure I'll be banned one day by SJW Twitter, because that's where the world's going, because they'll ban you for anything there. I got banned for saying Alberta should be struck by a meteor. Apparently that's hateful speech. I was apparently wishing harm upon people. That was it. I was wishing harm on people. I'm like, okay.
And if anybody knows you,
let's not make any satirically ridiculous statements like hoping a meteor takes out one singular province in a country. Like, this is not a legitimate threat to harm people, everyone. Like, but no, Twitter, that's Twitter for you. Apparently somebody complained and boom, Beaver's off the platform for 24 hours. So it's
a 24-hour ban. So
yeah, I didn't get a perma ban. I didn't kept. Yeah, I wasn't. Fight got permabanned, but he's back on. We'll see if they hunt him down.
Permabanned.
Better not be ending this podcast with that Tekashi 69 crap. The podcast version, because I don't do that on the YouTube, but Frank's responsible for putting whatever he puts on. If he's going to listen to Tekashi...
I've only ever played that once, and it was to Phoenix to show him how bad this guy was, because he had just gone to jail.
Well, he's out now.
And I know, I heard.
Anyways, so I'm Brainy Beaver. Find me on that channel. You're Frank, and you can be found at the Indie Sports Car Something or Other podcast. Fuck, it's too many words. Tell them all.
Just go to reddragonsradio.com. They're all in there.
Reddragonsradio.com.
Reddragonsradio.com.
Awesome. All right. So you don't have anything else to say, Frank?
That's all I ever say.
It's all you have to say, everybody. It's all he has to say. So Gam Wolfers, thanks for coming. Craven Mordick, thanks for being here. I don't see any other names. And there's a lurker in there somewhere. Maybe it's me even. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works.
Yeah, I'm not on. I need to start doing that more. I always forget.
Oh, whatever. I'm not on either. I could log in with me too and put a third on there. But apparently there's 2 concurrent viewers. But I do wonder if my window into my own stream here within the studio is a viewer to the system. I don't know why you do that, but I always seem to have 2 concurrent viewers, even if there's only one person chatting. So I do suspect that I'm one of the viewers because I'm watching within my own studio.
Yeah. Well,
it's YouTube. True. It's YouTube. So yeah, on that note, thank you for being here, Gam. Thank you for coming, Craven. I know you're gone right now. And everybody out there in podcast world, I really appreciate everybody listening to my ridiculous ass. And then Frank, there's him too, I guess.
Yep. There's me. Third time's come to do it.
Just kidding. All right. I'm turning the stream off on my end. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you later.
See you guys.